moment, I can see it. Streaming the truth live from where they decree it. Sylvia speaks, no filter, no buffer. Courtroom drama couldn't get any tougher.
When the gavel's first bang, to the witness turns tears. Sylvia's lens captures all your hopes and fears. Uploading justice one trial at a time. Tune in every moment, edges sublime.
Welcome to the Sylvia show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Welcome to the Sylvia show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Faces tell stories, the courtroom can't hide. Sylvia's insights cut through the divide. From jury talks to the lawyer's secret. In Sylvia's world, you know you'll need it. Behind the scenes where whispers are loud, her lens reveals the truth in the crowd. Courtroom secrets laid bare to see. Stay curious with Sylvia Spree. Every objection, every sharp retort, Sylvia's there to give you the report. Exclusive footage no one else can snag. From catchy headlines straight to the tag. Welcome to the Sylvia show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Welcome to the Sylvia show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show.
Faces tell.
Hey everybody, it's me, Sylvia. How are you guys doing this afternoon? Oh, I'm telling you guys, it is so freaking cold outside. Let me tell you. I haven't had any sleep. I thought I was going to take a nap. I haven't taken a nap yet, so I'm going to have to take my old person nap after I do this update of what happened at the hearing, okay? Guys, please share this. Please share this because it was not streamed today. Today's hearing was not streamed, and I got so much details to give to you guys. Those who don't know about this case, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit background. I don't know much, but I will very soon because I have made some connections in regarding to this case. So we're gonna get some firsthand information from people who knows the most about this case. So without further ado, I'm going to give you details of what happened, who did what, and I want to tell you one thing. Sarah Grace Patrick has a lot of support. I'm talking about family members. The majority of the courtroom was full with her family members there in her defense. Okay, the only people it seems as if they were against her was the sister to James Brock, and I think that must be her husband because I didn't get a chance to talk to them, but because they sat right in front of me. But she was doing a lot of crying, and at one point I was asking her, did she need some tissue, because she was crying a lot. She was crying a lot. That is Mr. Brock's sister, and her name was. Let me get her name. Hold on a second. Let me get my notebook. Let me get my notebook. Hold on, yeah. Had to get my notebook because I put people's name in my notebook so I know who's who. I have my notebook right here. Y'all, please share this live. Please share it. Please share it on X. Share it everywhere. I think I put her name in here. I'm trying to remember. Was it Bowling? Bowling is her last name. Bowling, like bowling alley, bowling. That's the way I wrote it down. Bowling. If can somebody just give me the right spelling of her name, because they didn't spell the name. I think it's Bowling, right? Bowling. Where's my person that knows a lot about this case? It's Bowling, right? Bowling, like in the bowling alley, because that's the way sorry, I hit the wrong button. That's the way I spelled it on here. Bowling, like in the bowling alley. That's how I spelled it. So if I spelled it wrong, please somebody tell me, because a lot of time people's dialect might be a little bit different from mine, and I might have wrote it differently than what it's supposed to be. This pen is not working. Oh, it's cheap behind pen. There's no ink in there. How are you gonna run out of ink already? And I just bought these pens. No, I just bought these pens and they don't have ink in them. I just bought these pens. I bought a whole set of pens and they're not writing. Y'all, they took my money. I bought a whole set. Can y'all believe I bought a set of pens and none of them working? Okay, finally I got one that works. Okay, let's start off with the court itself. Beautiful building, brand new. Seemed like it hasn't been around a long time. It seemed like the town is more of a developing town. Looked like it might have been country town before, and they're getting a lot of new stores and a lot of new businesses in that area. Seems like that type of area. So the ride took me almost 2 hours to get there. Straight traffic. No, nothing was. I mean, I think it's because of the coldness. It was, when I got up there, it was 11 degrees, y'all. And by the time I got out of court, it was 13 degrees up there. 13 degrees, 11 degrees. Right now, outside here where I am, it's about 30-something degrees, okay? But can you imagine being up there? It was freaking cold. When I tell you cold. And when I got there, the court was not open because I got there about 15 to 8. And they had the people standing outside. I was like, I'm not getting out the car because I'm not standing out there. So I waited till after 8 to go inside the building because I knew the court didn't start until, well, I didn't know until I got there. The court didn't start until about 8 o'clock. So I waited till about 8:15 once everybody went in to go in because I didn't want to stand out there in that cold. It was freaking cold out there. So I went in, and the deputies are very, very nice. They're very easygoing and no attitude, just pleasant, very pleasant. You know, that's one of my things when I go to these courts. I make comparison of how the deputies treat you, the people, you know, security people, how they treat you. And so far, they got an A in that county. That A all the way. Very friendly. When I walked in, went through the metal detector, no issue, none of that. One of the things I wanted to find out was what is their rules about having a phone inside the courtroom. And I had asked Miss SSS, shout out to her. She's the one who gave me this case, who told me about this case. Well, who told me that she wanted me to cover this case. So shout out to her. And she's the one who sponsored the gas for the trip. So shout out to her. But I had called her up to find out whether or not I could bring my cell phone in or do I leave it in the car. So she checked it out, and we ended up finding out that I could bring my phone in as long as I put it on silent or turn it off, which made it easy. So I brought all 3 phones with me, right? So I went in and I told them I'm here to for Judge Hightower's courtroom, and they told me it was on 4A. Anybody that's going to go to that court is 4A. Okay. Got into the elevator, went up to floor number 4, and then turned right, went straight down to the end, and I was right in the courtroom. No one was inside the courtroom. I was the first one sitting on the outside bench in the hallway. Right. Then the law and crime camera person came, and I knew him because he did YSL. It wasn't Mauricio, it was another guy. He did YSL, so I was like, hey, I know you, and he's like, yeah, I remember you too. So we just started talking, shooting the breeze and everything until they got ready. So then when the deputy came in and he asked him, are you good, the camera guy, you need to set up? He told him yeah, so they went inside to set up, right? So I'm still sitting in the hallway, and when I'm sitting in the hallway, quite a few people started coming in. This is when I realized that they're going to have to do the calendar because it was a lot of people, and it didn't seem like there were people from the Sarah Patrick's case, right? So I went in, sat down, and I sat in the second row on the left-hand side. And so the victim advocacy person came in, and she brought in the family member of Mr. Brock. They sat in front of me. It was this young lady. I don't know who she was. Then Mr. Brock's sister, and then I'm assuming that's her husband that she sat next to because she was doing a lot of holding and a lot of hugging and a lot of laying her head on his shoulder type of thing. So I'm assuming, I don't know for a fact if it was Miss Bowling's husband. I don't know if that was in fact her husband. So they sat down, and she, the victim advocacy person, told her, they could sit over here. You could have those 3 seats. It was 3 seats for them. They sat right in front of me. And so there was a young lady that came in, and she sat behind me. She seemed as if she was a news person. She had an English accent. And so she got up and went over to speak to Mr. Brock's sister. So she sat with her, and then she went back and sat down. So me and my nosy self, and I tried to ask, I said, hey, how are you? I said, my name is Sylvia, and I'm trying to cover this case. And can I ask you, who's that you just went up there to talk to? She says, oh, that's the sister of James Brock. I said, oh, okay. So and I said to her, because then I saw the other family, Sarah's family coming in, and I saw a man with a light blue sweater, an older gentleman, light blue sweater, and then there was this lady sat next to him, and there was a couple of other people coming in. It was a whole bunch of people. So then same woman that was behind me, because I felt she knew a lot about this case, I asked her, I said, who's the guy over there with the light blue sweater? And she's like, that's Sarah's grandfather. I said, oh, okay. And then I was texting Miss SSS and telling her who's in here, because she was asking questions too. So I'm texting her, and and you can text in the courtroom, because I was doing my Twitter and X's, not Twitter, but X. I was putting notation of what was going on in the court. So I was like, ooh, I can text and I won't get in trouble, right? And I didn't even have a Rule 22. So I was texting. I couldn't take pictures, but I was texting. So she told me that was grandfather, right? So I'm getting a little familiar who's who, because me, I'm like really clueless of who's who in the courtroom. So I knew the grandfather, and I knew the sister and her husband and some lady, right? So I got 4 people now, right? So when the judge come in, we get up, we stand up, and we sit back down. And the judge announced that he is going to do the calendar. And then after that, he's going to take the case up with Sarah Patrick, right? And so he goes and he starts doing the name, calling on all the different case people. And then I found out that the judge used to be a defense attorney. So that's a little bit different, y'all. That's a little bit different, meaning that he's going to, defense attorneys, judges, type of judge usually makes the state work. You know what I'm saying? Because he was on the other side. He wasn't on the prosecution side. Because most of the time, most judges are prosecutors, and most of the time they state side all the way. So this judge, because he is a defense judge, he is going to make the prosecution work, because that's his background, defense. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, that's pretty cool. I get a chance to see the other side, because I've seen defense judges before, and they seem a little bit more stronger against the state. Not necessarily, but they make the state work, show their proof, right? So, but then also, you remember, politics is involved in this. I believe a lot of politicking is in this case here. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. So, he's doing his calendar, and he gets to Sarah's name, and then he tells the people in the gallery that basically they're going to try to make some room, because there was people standing up. He says we're going to try to make some room, because once the Sarah case is over, they'll have more room and they can handle the extra people that's inside the courtroom. Okay. So he does a lot of first appearance type of case, and he's giving people different court dates of the trial and the arraignment stuff. He's doing all that, blah, 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 blah. Okay. He finishes with them, and he finally calls up Sarah's Grace's case, right? I'm going to just call her Sarah, because all these three names kind of gets me a little bit too much. Okay. So he calls up. Okay. She comes from the right side, from the back, and she has on like a green, like this kind of green, lime green, this kind of green jumper, the gel stuff, orange plastic slippers, gray socks, and she's shackled on by her ankle. She's shackled, right? She comes in, she sits down with her attorney, and they sit there, and then the judge called the calendar for her case. So then he asked the defense to come up. How many witnesses? The defense says that they're going to have 2 witnesses. And then the judge announced that he receives all the letters. He received 21 letters from individual in support of her getting a bond. Then he may make a mention about a particular letter, and he goes into details of what the letter said, right? And so he just wanted them to know that every letter that he read, he definitely took account of some of the stuff that was being said in the letter, and he appreciated. He wanted to show them by giving the information on one particular letter that he did read them. Okay, so he finished that. So he asked the defense to come up and bring the witness, their witness. The first witness that went up was Sarah's grandfather. Okay, he went up there, and she starts asking him some question. Okay, the question he asked him was, the first question was basically, who is he? What side of the family is he on? Was it the paternal or the maternal side? Whether it's the father side of Sarah or the mother side, right? And so he said he was on the mother side, which is Kristen. That was her dad, and his name was Mr. Nolan, right? Hold on, make sure I got the name right. Hold on. Yeah, I was right. Nolan. And so she started asking him questions about whether or not Sarah had a driver's license, and he says no. Does she have a permit? He says no. Um, do you know if she's ever been arrested? He says no. And to his knowledge, she has never been arrested. Has she ever been in trouble? No. Does she have basically means and money to get away? No. Whether or not who is she going to be staying with? This is when he mentioned she would be staying with somebody that lives in Alabama, and then ask if the judge makes it where she has to live with you, are you willing to take her in? And he says probably. He didn't say definitely. He says probably, right? So then that was basically it from the questioning on this defense side. It wasn't much questioning, but then he would ask him about money and things like that. Do Sarah have any money? And he says no, and all this kind of stuff. So then the state got up, and the state went to start questioning him about some contract. They asked whether or not there was a contract with any media. And a grandfather said, yes. He asked, have you gotten any money from the contract? Grandfather told him no, he hadn't had any money from any contract. Then he started asking him, how much are you going to be paid for the contract? And he was like, then that's when the defense objected to the line of question. Then the judge asked them to come to the bench. So the two sides came up to the bench of the judge. And the judge asked the camera guy, hey, does this mic go into your camera? And the camera guy said, yes. He says, turn it off right now. So because basically he's having a bench conference. So the camera guy had to turn off the mic. So the judge had a bench conference with the two sides, and then they came back. And then the judge said, I'm going to allow this line of questioning. And so then the state went and asked same question again about the amount that he is to be paid from the contract. First, he asked what type of contract is it. And the grandfather says that it was a contract for them to buy the rights of the story about Sarah case. And then he says that he asked him, have you gotten any money from this contract? He says, no, he hadn't gotten any money. He says, who is part of this contract? So he mentioned it was him, his ex-wife, which is the maternal grandmother, and DJ, which is his son, right? And so so then they says, so Sarah, no money is going to go to Sarah. He says, no money is going to go to Sarah, and that type of thing. So he got off the stand, and then the grandmother went up there. So the grandmother went up, and so she started asking her the question. Now that this is the defense, started asking a question in regard to that contract. And so I was right. It is bowling. Thank you, Bryn. Thank you. It is bowling. Thank you. I just want to make sure I spelt it the right way, like I heard it. Okay, thank you so much. So the grandmother, he was asking the grandmother about the money, and then she says it was about $100,000 that they're going to get, and she's mentioned that it's going to be after the trial. It's not going to be anything before the trial. And so then the defense asked her, well, will there be any money? given to Sarah? Will you give Sarah any of the money? She said no. So then the grandmother's name was Luna Bruce. Luna Bruce, right? Luann Bruce, right? Which is Kristen's mom. And so she says she's willing to, then they ask her, was she willing to let the granddaughter live with her? She says, yeah, she's willing to let her live. She says, absolutely, right? And then she says, but where is she going to live? And then they mentioned that lady that she's going to live with, the one that lives in Alabama, which lives right on the state line of Alabama and Georgia. And they said that they felt that was the best place for her because she was already living with that person, and it would be away from everybody else, right? It wouldn't be in the way, where everything is happening right now. So it would be easier for her to be able to stay away and stuff like that, right? So now the state went and asked her the same question, and then she got ready to get off the stand. Now this is the thing that got me. She got off the stand. Remember, Brock's sister is sitting in front of me, and she's coming straight from the stand this way. She turns over and looked at Brock's sister and gave her the meanest, longest, eyeballing, mean mugging to the lady. Not only did I see it, then the lady that was sitting next to me, she said, oh my God. She said, why she look at her like that's what the lady said next to me, right? And she said, oh my God, that is such a look, right? And she went like this and rolled her eyes and went on and sat down. You knew at that point that there is some bad blood between this family, because the way that lady looked at her, whoa. And the lady turned around, because the lady that was sitting next to me said it so loud that the one that was crying, Brock's sister, turned around, looked at the ladies next to me and shook her head to the lady. It was like communicating, right? So they got off the stand, and then the judge says, any more witnesses? And she said there was no more witnesses. The state didn't have any witness, but the state decided to read the letter from the Brocks, right? They didn't get back up on the stand. So they read the letter, and basically said the same thing that she said on the stand, that she felt that Sarah was a danger to society, that she has means and of ways of getting funding, and that she can be a flight risk and all this kind of stuff, right? So the judge asked them to do their closing argument, right? So I knew from this point that there was no bond going to be given. Let me tell you why I said it. When they started asking about this money thing, right? And they all claiming that they're not going to give her no money. Now, come on now, y'all. Grandma not going to give money to the grandchild. Well, if she get that money about the story. Y'all, come on. Come on, y'all. Y'all know grandma going to give that money up. Grandma going to give that money up. Because grandma, let me tell you, grandma look like she don't need no money. Grandma look like she's got some money of her own. You understand what I'm saying? Grandma was laid. Her hair was like, grandma looked like she got some money. Okay. Grandma looked laid, and her hubby looked laid too. It looked like they're the rich side of the family. I'm telling you, grandma, she got a new husband too. They're not married. The same one not married to each other. But I'm telling you, grandma gonna make sure her granddaughter's taken care of. In fact, the other thing that I heard them say is that her little sister, the grandma that I tell you, the one that lady that gave the mean mug to the sister, she's the one who has custody of the little sister. She's the little sister's she's got custody of her, the daughter, the little 5-year-old that found the parent. Were they married to each other when this happened? No, they weren't married. They was already divorced. There was divorce. I got some stuff to tell you. Okay. I'm just giving y'all the court stuff now. I gotta get to the little personal stuff later on in a minute, right? But as I was saying, y'all know grandma's gonna give up some of that money to that child. Yeah, I'm sorry. For them to say grandma not gonna give money, that's a lie. That's a lie. Come on, y'all know how grandma is with her good grandkids. Come on now. Grandkids can do no wrong. Come on now. Now, just be honest, y'all. All y'all grandmas out there, don't y'all treat your grandkids better than what you treated your old kids, right? Come on, grandma. Say yup, grandmas. Just tell me yup. Even granddaddy. Yup. Right? Okay. So the defense gets up there to do their closing argument on why they feel that she should get a bond. They mention about her being in solitary confinement for so long. They mention about the time of the case trial has been pushed out 8 months. She mentioned that, which doesn't have anything to do with any changes of circumstances, right? They even mentioned about, I wish I knew you were coming to my area. I would have treated you to breakfast. Oh, well, I'll be there in August. I'll be there in August. Let me tell you. Hold on. Could we put a pause there? I'm sorry, y'all. Put a pause. Those that's watching me right now. Love to shop. Let me tell you something. This morning I had not eaten. I left the house at like 6 o'clock, almost 6:30, something like that, right? And I had not eaten. It was before 6. I had not eaten, and on my way back, I was feeling so sick. I'm telling you, I should have had breakfast because being a diabetic, I was like, I should have ate. I'm on the phone with SSS, and I'm like, I'm feeling sick. I felt like I had to puke, right? And I was like, I gotta eat something. So I hurry up and found a Bojangles, and I ate some Bojangles, and I started feeling better. But I would have loved that breakfast this morning. All right, that's my little commercial break. But anyway, this defense was basically saying that she's not a flight risk. She doesn't have her driver's license. She doesn't drive. She doesn't have a car. They don't even know if she knows how to drive, right? And so they turn around and they arrest it and everything, right? Then the state came up. And guess what the state talked about? The state talked about how this contract that they're going to have with these production company is going to be a way for her to be able to get some money, and she become a flight risk, and also the influence of her with the media and all that blah 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 blah, right? So when the judge came up there, when the judge said, I hope this is not going to say that I did not pay attention to any of the letters that's written, I was like, oh, right there, she's not getting bond. Because as soon as he started talking about, it's not a reflection of anything, it's not me taking the one side over the other, I knew then it's like a no. But he was right. There was no change of a circumstances that would really have him to really think and to overturn that decision of giving her bond, because the court date changed. They changed it. It was an agreement between the state and her defense. So they cannot use that as a reason for her to be able to get bond, because they made an agreement. It wasn't the judge that made a decision on that. It was the two parties coming together and said both of them said August would be a better date. So you cannot use that as an excuse for you to get a bond, because y'all agreed on it. That wasn't the judge's job, okay? And then the other thing was, y'all told about this freaking money thing. That money thing is like, there's a change in the circumstances, and it's against the defense. It's not against the state. It's against the defense. So that basically solidified the judge not giving her the bond, because you have means for money to get away, right? And also that her being in solitary confinement has nothing to do with the judge, has nothing to do with what the court is there for. Court is there to protect the community. And then so the judge denied it. They denied. So it was to me, it was a very good experience for me because I got a chance to see that courtroom, which I really, really liked the judge. I love the judge. The judge seems so much fair from my conversation and seeing how he interact with the different people with the other cases and stuff. He gives them a lot of chances because even when the state kept saying bench warrant, bench warrant, bench warrant, right? He was more like, okay, we'll hold off from sitting out bench warrant because we want to make sure since the attorney and the person's not here, we're going to give them a chance to be here, both of them, because we don't know what's the circumstance and what's the situation. But let me tell you, the state kept saying bench warrant, bench warrant, bench warrant. That's all I kept hearing is bench warrant, bench warrant. And he wasn't just throwing out those bench warrants like some judges. I've been in Fulton County. As soon as the state said bench warrant, they had the bench warrant before they could recall the person's name. I'm telling you. Yep. I'm a mother of 3. My parents and in-laws prefer their grands. They give 0 F about me and my husband. I mean 0. It's the truth. Grandma, even look at what my mom do with Dallas. She'll talk to Dallas. We're not going to talk about that. But grandma will do anything for the grandpa too. Will do anything for the grandchildren. Okay. Let me go back. Let me just tell you some of the stuff that went on inside the courtroom that cameras don't show. The families are at odds with each other. Okay. When the judge ended the hearing, he asked the side for Sarah to stay there until the other side left. The other side hurry up and got up and left, and they had a deputy to follow them. It was 3 of them, right? They left the courtroom and they were gone, right? And then the side for Sarah got up, and it was a ton of them. I stopped counting after 12. I counted at least 12 people that was in there for her. At least 12. I stopped counting at 12. And the reason why I know they were there for her, because when the judge asked the family, were they waiting for the attorney Michelle, to come out? And they all said yes. So when the attorney came out, they went to the hallway, and all of them went over there, and they were in the corner talking to her. And I started counting the heads that I was able to count. So it was about 12 people that I personally counted that was on the side of Sarah. Now, you know me and my little talkative self, I got on the elevator, and in my going down the elevator, there was a lady got on the elevator with me. And you know me and my talkative mouth. I started talking about the weather and everything, and then she said, "Oh, we got to be back here on August 3rd." When she said that, I knew that, hey, this woman's part of this case too. And I didn't even count her as part of the 12. Okay, I remember I didn't count her. So she got in the elevator, and I started having a conversation with the lady, and I said, "Oh," I said, "You related to Sarah?" She says, "Yes, I'm her grandmother." I said, "Her grandmother," but remember, I saw the grandmother that was on the stand, right? I was like, "That's not the same lady." And she says, "I'm on her maternal side." I said, "That's not the grandmother." So she says, "No, I am married to Mr. Nolan. I'm his current wife. The one that was on the stand is his ex-wife, who the 2 of them was parents to Kristen." That's what she told me. That's her, She says, I'm his wife, right? And so we walk into the parking lot and everything. And so we're having a conversation, y'all. I'm just talking to the lady, just I'm trying to get nosy. I said, can you tell me something? I said, why do the social media thinks that she did it? I'm just asking a question, y'all. I'm just asking a question. Look, I'm asking a question, right? And I said, why did the social media think that she did it? I said, I'm just started covering this case. I don't know anything about it, so that's why I'm asking you some question, because I'm trying to get to know this some stuff about this case. She says, well, they're just a bunch of a bunch of like story makers. They just come up with all kinds of stuff that they come in and it's like has nothing to do with this case. I said, really? I said, oh, I said, so what's going on? I said, so what's going on with I said, I'm trying not to be like so blunt. It's like, okay, why do you don't think she did it? That type of. I'm not going. I didn't want to go there, but I was trying to pull some stuff out, right? So then she says, then she started giving me the history of the family and stuff, right? And so she says, so then she's looking for her car. I said, well, just beep your thing. She says, oh no, it's a Tesla and I don't know how to do the beeping thing. It's my husband's car and all that. And I don't know, he's still inside the building because, he's with the ex-wife talking to the attorney. Remember I told you that group of 12 people? She wasn't part of that group of 12 people. She started walking when I started walking, right? And so she started saying how they know that she didn't do it. She said she know that she didn't do it. So I was like, how did you know? So I was like, okay, I can't ask this lady too much question because I don't know how to get on me. But let me tell you what I did. The attorneys on the defense side recognized me. Well, the one that's on the side, she recognized me. She says, you be everywhere, don't you, Sylvia? I said, yeah, I do. She says, okay, I'm so glad you're here. I said, well, can I have your card? She says, yeah, you can have my card so you can get stuff right instead of just saying anything. I said, okay. She said, because if you say something wrong, I'm going to correct you. So I got her card. I got her card, the attorney on the case. So guys, okay. So anybody have any questions for me? So that's basically for now. I am covering the case and I will get my homework done and finding out everything that I can find out about the case. And everyone was pretty pleasant, I would say. Pretty pleasant. So they know something. I mean, but I was like, how you try, I didn't want to be pushing them away so fast, but I was like, I need to find out something because let me tell you something. Now that I know they say they're not going to get no money for nothing, I know I can go and try to get them to do interview because now they can't charge, right? They can't charge because if the judge come back, do you get money? You can't charge me, so you can give me some information. Right? I don't want to push them away. Yeah, that was the first day. I didn't want to push them away. I did not want to do that. No, I did not want to do that. And I really like that courtroom. So far, I've been having very good experience at courtroom. I think I had the worst courtroom from the beginning. Like the at first I started federal. Federal is really like, but they very kind, but they strict. And then I went on to Fulton County. Fulton County, oh my God. Ooh. If you can make it through Fulton County court system, you can make it anywhere, y'all. You can make it anywhere. So, any questions y'all have for me? But he denied her bond. And y'all, I am super neutral in this case. I'm glad I don't know too much about it because then I'll have no opinion. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Hey, Kim. Didn't they have video inside a home? Sarah did that. I don't know. Miss Sweetie, I don't know. You could, you look, I don't know. I don't know anything about the video that was inside the house, and I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that she has a lot of support. A lot of support. She had 21 letters, y'all. 21 letters, and she had 15 people saying that they're willing to have her to come and stay at their house. 15 people and 21 letters. So I don't know. But she was very sad, and I asked the grandma, so how's she holding up in jail? She said she's okay, but she's today really hurt. I mean, really hit home, and she was sad today. That's what she told me. But they talk to her every day on the phone. That's what the grandma told me. And they support her. They know she didn't do it. That's what she said. They know she didn't do it. She didn't need a bond. They say they know she didn't do it. So we'll see. That's what she said. They know she didn't do it. That's what the grandma told me when I asked her. Shout out to the young lady that was sitting next to me, Shauna. Hey, Shauna. She said she's going to follow me. Hey, Shauna. So, shake my head. You should have went and checked on the calls. I forgot to remind you. Dang, you forgot to remind me. Daggone it. Because, yeah, I put in a request for those calls out of Carroll County, and I was supposed to go down to the sheriff department, and you know what it was? I was so tired that I wasn't thinking correctly. So that's why I didn't even remind you. How do I remind you? You were supposed to remind me. How am I going to remind you to remind me? Because I was going to forget anyway. Yeah, I forgot. So next time. The ride was not too bad. I just hope it'd be like that throughout. Well, it'll be summertime, and no, kids will be back in school because August 3rd. Yeah, kids will be back in school. Yeah. So anybody have any questions? Any questions? I will be covering this case. I will be getting some 411 on the case. All right, y'all. We got some calls. We got some new Cecil calls, y'all. Okay, sorry. Can I get Angela? They had denied me those calls, but I wanted to go in person and to have a conversation with them. So that's what SSS was supposed to remind me, but she didn't remind me. So I never got over there to the sheriff department, but I will next time. I might make a trip down there and talk to the person. You know, sometime when you go in person, you can have a conversation with the people and try to explain to them what you're looking for, and they'll do a little bit different. And so that's what I'm going to do, because, you know, emails don't work because they could just ignore email. But when you go in person, Can't ignore you in person, right? So I'll go there in person and ask. We'll see. We'll see what they say in person. Any questions, y'all? Is there anything else you guys are satisfied with my reporting, or do you have some complaint? If you have a complaint, please put it in the suggestion box. Anybody have any questions? I'm tired. I'm really sleepy. But I hope you guys appreciate my effort of going there and getting that information for you guys. Because I'm a little bit delirious a little bit right now because I'm sleepy. Any questions? Hey, Nene. Any questions, y'all? Yeah, I need a nap, y'all. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning. My head's starting to hurt. No complaint. Okay, I'm going to go take a nap. All right. I'll see you guys later. I got to go to sleep. I'm tired. All right. Yep. See you later. Bye, y'all. I'll be ready for, yep, 7 o'clock. All right. I am so sleepy. Oh my God, I'm so sleepy in my face. All right, later, y'all. I just hope I can take a nap. I need to put a mask on my head, my eye, so I can go to sleep. Because it's hard to go to sleep with light on, right? I'm new to this case. I'll do some research. Thanks, Sylvia. Of course, Nene. Okay, I'm going to give you a little rundown, okay? This happened, this case, you know, when SSS told me about this case and everything, and then I went and looked it up and stuff, it was done on my birthday. So you know I have to do this case, y'all. You know I have to do it. It was my birthday last year, February 20th, my birthday. Don't forget that date. February 20th, she unalived her, well, allegedly. She allegedly unalived her parents, her stepdad and her mom, according to what the state said. And so yeah, I gotta do this case. I gotta do it because of my my birthday. Okay, I gotta go. I'm sleepy. Later, y'all. Bye.
Thank you for watching the infamous Sylvia channel, where laughter and fun make up our panel. Together we build this digital spree. We appreciate you and our growing family. With mods by our side and chat flowing free in this online space. It's just you and me, we laugh until tears roll down like the rain. In this virtual world, you ease all my pains. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We cherish the moments, the highs and lows, from the latest gossip to stories untold. You're more than a viewer, you're part of the crew in this space of ours. It's all because of you. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign, enjoys what we'll gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mars keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mars and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign, enjoys what we'll gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mars and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night.